I don't know about you, but I've always had this question on my mind. So in May of 2021, I tried to get as much Gamerscore as I can in a month. And the answer might surprise you. Now, before we dive into the 31 days of madness, I want to get a few things out of the way and be upfront and be honest that this could have gone differently. So, number one is this was done on my main account, which had around 750k. Therefore, some of the easy games were already done and couldn't be used. So this could have been much higher. Two, this was done on a whim after the first day, so the playing was mostly done on a wing it fashion. Three, I still went to work 5 days a week, so the potential grinding time wasn't at maximum. Now, you could have said I could have done this in 2020 when everybody was really like furloughed and stuff, but I'll show on screen my previous months back then. I think it was in January and October. So we'll see what those are. And then four, I took some break days and I still put in the time with my friends with Warzone and recently released Knockout City. So with those four things out of the way, this impacted how much I could have gotten. I know for a fact I could have gotten a lot more if I didn't take those break days, but I needed those. As the month goes on, I'll be burnt out on some days, but I'm happy with the end result and I reached my personal goal that I set during this. I hope you enjoy the crazy ride I had. If you haven't seen my channel before, I started a series of where I gather a cluster of easy games for Gamerscore and marathon them. I've done this twice before. I'll put those in the description and on cards. I'll put all the video guides and text guides I use in the video description or the comments. So Past Me has some thoughts before I dive into the games I've played, so let's listen to Past Me. Okay, so this is me getting ready for this massive Gamerscore Blitz, Achievement Hunt Blitz. 16 games, 16,000 Gamerscore. You can see on the times with the live split, all these games, all the times on the right are the estimates that people say you can get this in. So these are, some are video, some are text guides, so they should be around that time, but you know, you might have to pause, you might have to rewind, you might die a bunch, so it should take me 6 hours to get 16,000 Gamerscore with these 16 games. So in 8 minutes, once I'm done waiting for it to officially hit May, my time zone, which is in 8 minutes, I'm going to start this, and future editing me, when I do the voiceover, I'll have my thoughts. So let's see what's going on. Now again, I'm going to start this at 12 a.m. So I'm probably gonna have another all-nighter and get done around 6 a.m. maybe it's like 7. So hopefully this is not a mistake. They're all easy, a bunch of visual novels, so it's not too hard. Some new games. I'm worried about Allison's Rebirth because I know Allison's Diary Rebirth because that is a buggy game that I've seen. So we'll see what happens. So that's my audio for this, and here comes future me. Well, I was optimistic about having it pretty much like 6 hours, but it ended up being 9, so let's get started. First up is a Metroidvania called Mystopia. Now, I'll be honest here, these games aren't my jam. I hate platformers, I'm terrible at them, and I only play them from Gamerscore. So this one gave me a bit of trouble because you only have 3 hit points, and if you die, you go back to the beginning. There are eventually checkpoints, but still you have to go back to the beginning, but you get your checkpoint, you spawn at the checkpoint. And the graphics aren't too bad. Further along, the frog and bunny enemies gave me the hardest time. That's what killed me right here in this game. I finally finished it. The estimate was 30 minutes, and my time was 1 hour and 36 minutes. Plans I had for time were already shot, then the next game isn't much better. Game number 2 was Acalesia. I don't know how to say this. another platform type game. And boy, I sure have made a mistake having these two at the start, but I'm glad I put these up front, because if I was like 9 hours in, I would have been so tired, gotten more frustrated. So it's a blessing and a curse right here. I thought this game would be easier because you just have to collect crystals throughout the level, and it's a somewhat linear level too. But what really killed me here was the amount of enemies and the real slippery controls. Now, I always like go for the compare these two Nintendo games because Nintendo makes the best, pretty much the best platformers ever. It's so tight, controls are great. It feels like you really have the control of the character. And in this game, especially where in the jumping with this, we need to make precise jumps with certain timing with the enemies and all that shooting at you. That was terrible for me. I kind of enjoyed this one more than Mystopia. Estimate for this one was 30 minutes again, but took me an hour 20. 2K in 3 hours. Terrible start from what I have this. And remember, right here, it's 3 a.m. now. But game number 3 is Heal Console Edition. A nice change of pace with the puzzle game. The controls are so terrible. It's made clear this was made for mouse and keyboard first, controller second. They didn't really give any much thought into the control scheme for the controller. I thought it was a nice looking game. It has a nice sad story, and I think a lot of people will enjoy this one. I recommend it. One of the better games I played in this cluster. Estimated time was 35 minutes. My time was 53. So 4 hour in, and we have our only horror game in Allison's Diary Rebirth. It's a prime example of how consoles' digital storefronts are becoming much like Steam, where it's pretty much anything can get on there released. Rebirth feels like it's right out of the height of the horror games Let's Plays on YouTube. This wouldn't be a breakout hit. It would have been lost in the mess of games back then. The graphics look bad. The walk speed is incredibly slow. And I know there's a sprint button, but it doesn't really do much. Looking at the footage I'm writing this on, the sensitivity looks way too high. There's a lot of jump scares, and the jump scares are like you can know when they're coming because it's one of those horror games where it's pretty much predictable. The enemies kill you in one hit, and once you die, you restart the whole level. Now that's bad design in a horror game like this. Even though the levels are super small, super linear, but I don't recommend this one. Estimated time was 30 minutes. I got this done in 48 minutes. At this point, these last games, I don't really have much to say since they're all so forgettable. Or it's just, they don't have much depth or stuff I do not care about. So game number 5 is my Hidden Things. Another puzzle hidden object game where you have to combine 2 or more items to make the item that is needed. I usually don't play puzzle games, so I don't really have much to say about this. We'll start going through this game more quickly, like I just said. Estimated time was an hour. My time was 56 minutes. Game number 6 was Gunslinger, a pretty standard side-scroller shooter. I did have some trouble with the jumping. I don't really like these games either. But at least you don't have to beat the game. You just gotta get up to the first boss, do it twice. You gotta carry him to jail and then bury him. Estimated was 20 minutes. I did it in 27. Lucky number 7 is Feather. Now, if you played any of the Aery games that with Easy Gamerscore, where you just place a bird flying around collecting items around the level, this is a nice chill game with no real stakes. This was the first rest game I had, kind of. I was like not really paying attention to it. This would have been one of the faster games out there, but there's an achievement to play for 15 minutes waiting for the day-night cycle to complete. So I had maybe like a 10, 12 minute rest right here where I was just waiting for this timer to go off. Estimate was 15 minutes. I did it in 18. Game number 8 was Dead Dust. This game is really nothing special. It's kind of offensive too. Just went through the motions with this one. It's a Chili Dog interactive game, or back then, or their old games are called Victory Road when they were the publisher. So it has cheat codes. Estimated time was 20. I did it in 35 because the first time, one level I glitched out, so I had to restart and do all this junk again. Game number 9 was Trails and Traces, The Tomb of Thomas 2. Nothing really to say here, just follow the guide. Skipped all the cutscenes and dialogue. It's one of those point-and-click visual novels. Easy to follow guide. Estimated time was 22 minutes. I did it in 28. Game number 10 was Yoko and Yuki, Dr. Rat's Revenge. Just used the cheat codes, jumped a lot. Estimated time was 30 minutes. I did it in 23. Game 11 was Vampire the Masquerade, Shadows of New York. It's a visual novel game. I skipped most of the dialogue, made the important choices, and I used the cloud save manipulation to save on the playthrough. Estimated time was 15. And in the splits, I messed up and put it as 5, so that's kind of messed up, but whatever. It is what it is. I don't know how long it took me, probably like 20 minutes. Game number 12 is Strawberry Vinegar. Another visual novel. I just followed back at 91's guide. Estimated time was 20 minutes. I did it in 19. Now, game number 13, before I forget, is a game I misplaced. I should have put it earlier before I started all these visual novels. And it's a game I really enjoyed. Great story, good art style. It's one of those walking simulators, but I really like those games. It's another relaxing game. I recommend playing it. Estimated time to beat was 30 minutes. I did it in 32. Game 14 was Nicole. The longest visual novel, probably the most choice-heavy game. And I was falling asleep at this point. I don't know, what is it, like 8 a.m. maybe? Or 9 a.m.? I think this was a dating one. I can't really remember. So games 15, 16, and 17 were all the same 2 to 3 minute completion visual novels where you just set it to auto-skip text, super fast text. You can just hit play and then it skips everything. It takes you like 3 minutes to get through all of them. So this was like I placed these in the last because it was my luck reward to get past all this. So almost 10 hours later, I've got 17,000 Gamerscore. So it's a great start to this challenge. It's like 10 hours into the first day of the month. So at around 10 a.m., maybe like 10:30, I went to sleep. And I didn't stop there. So once I woke up, around 3:30, me and one of my friends tried out Second Extinction. I found it to be okay for an early access game. It's sort of like Left 4 Dead with dinosaurs, but with an open world map. If you choose to play this, pick Rosie. She has the best ability of being able to heal yourself and your friends. And it recharges with damage done, so you can just get it back fairly quickly. You don't really have to die as much. And the minigun is like overpowered too. For today, I've only played a few missions at this point. I got 205 Gamerscore from playing this. Now, sprinkle around some Warzone around all these next games for a couple hours maybe. I still played 3 games to cap off the day, sleeping deeply. This game is about killing the character in wacky ways. It's okay, not something I would have picked up on my own. So that's another 1k down. Another one is Techo in the Castle of Lucio. This is an old school platformer that would be very annoying on its own, but on Xbox there's a glitch where you can become invincible. I'm glad it's there because I would not have been able to do this legit. So it's probably like left it off at some like weird Gamerscore number. The last game for day 1 was Zero Strain. It's a pretty fun twin stick shooter. It's really easy. It's one of those games where you don't have to beat the whole game, but I wouldn't have minded having played through it at all, but I wouldn't have picked it for this day because it would probably like take a couple hours to do more grinding. So with that, day 1 comes to a close with a whopping 20,205 Gamerscore. It's a great pace, so let's get on to day 2. After the madness that was day 1, was a cool off period for me. All I played was Outriders and some Warzone. Now Outriders already had 365 Gamerscore when I played this when it launched in April. Played with some friends, but all the glitches and the server issues just put it off till May. Wanted to finish Outriders so I could have more space on my Series X. I found the game to be pretty fun. I picked the Trickster, and that seemed the only right choice because all the fun powers you can use. And once you realize that the cover is for the enemies and not yourself, the game clicks for you. You just gotta keep flanking the enemies using your powers in cool ways. And there's no real reason to go higher in the world tiers. So you should just stay on world tier 1, focus on all your character accolades first. so the grind won't be as long as after you beat the game. This achievement list should be the standard we should strive for. Nothing too grindy. You can experience the whole game. It's easy doable solo. You don't have to do like a couple of the end game missions, but that's fine. Easy doable solo. Day 2 comes to a close with 635 for a total so far of 20,840. This day was a little bit more productive. I got 95 Gamerscore from Second Extinction. Just doing some stuff in that. Aery, A Journey Behind Time, was up next. Like I said earlier, this is like Feather. You just play around, collect stuff to finish items. Also played another Aery game, Broken Memories, which is pretty much the exact same game. There's 2K right there. And then I played Tetra's Escape, another side-scrolling puzzle game. Another 1K down. Another productive day. First up was My Aunt is a Witch, and I think it has a different name, or it had a different name, because on the Xbox app on my phone, when the achievements were popping up, it was like a different name. It's a point-and-click visual novel. You can just skip all the dialogue. I skipped all the text and all that, follow the guide. So I didn't really know what was going on with this one. Next up was Retrace Memories of Death. I followed the guide for this one as well. It was pretty enjoyable. Great story and graphics and music. I would recommend this one. I also recommend the last one of the day, which is When the Past Was Around. It's an adventure point and click with a great art style and story. I think a lot of us can relate to it. Another 2K for today, which brings the total to 26,935. Now this day is a little different. I actually woke up early and decided to get 2 visual novels out of the way, which were Summer with the Shiba Inu, a dog-based visual novel. I bet you a lot of people already played this if you're a Gamerscore hunter. Skipped all the text, made all the correct choices. Same with Dull Grey. Just follow guide, skip all the dialogue, just picked correct choices. So after work, I decided to hit up another visual novel, but this time it had a broken achievement. It was dragons, or the dragon ones. It was the angel with scaly wings. It had one broken achievement, but I got that on a different day. I'll mention it again. Did some more things in Second Extinction, got some more Gamerscore. And I actually joined the Discord to get the last 960 Gamerscore I needed in DayZ. I'll put a link in the description or in the comments with instructions on how to get into that Discord and follow the rules there. You don't want to get kicked out because it's a pretty good community there. So it's another break day. Like I said, I just got the broken achievement in Scaly Wings and did some more grinding in Second Extinction. So it's the end of the first week. I did some more things in Second Extinction again. Started up the complex after that. It's one of those interactive movies where we just watch and make choices. I didn't like this one as much as the other ones I played, but it's still okay. I really like these. It's so corny and fun sometimes. I hope more people play them and the developers keep making them. So the end total of week 1 was 31,790. I think that was some great pace. Incredibly front-loaded. I could have done more, but I just need those breaks after work. I'm working all the time. I really don't want to do this, and I gotta capture footage, and then I'll mention it here, but some footage got corrupted, so some games won't have footage, but I'll fill it in with something. On to week 2. Finally, I got the rest of the achievements in Second Extinction. It was mostly grinding kills and respawns and deploying. Now, with the respawning and deploying, you can hopefully there's a respawn point right where a cliff is, or pretty close by. So you can just, if it's high enough, you can just run off the cliff, get down by yourself, just kill yourself, respawn again, do that over and over again. I was watching YouTube when I was doing it, talking to friends sometimes. And next up was finishing the rest of the complex. I followed the guide for the rest of the stuff, where I always play through those games first, and then I do follow a guide to get the rest of the cleanup achievements. I followed a guide for the Office Quest. It's another point-and-click adventure side-scroller. I started a new game in Destroy All Humans. I think it came to Game Pass in May or the month before. So 1,865 gamer score for today. And the next day, I just finished up Destroy All Humans. It's a pretty great remake, but you will need to go into the Xbox settings to change the controls to finish some of the race challenges, because the controls, it's hard to hit the boost and jump at the same time, so you can just go into your Xbox controller settings app and then change it universally that way, which is pretty good. Because I was debating on trying to do the Destroy All Humans Windows 10 stack, but I was like, I really don't want to play this game again real soon. Even though it's like 4 to 5 hours, you can pretty much do that in that time frame if you know what you're doing and you just keep playing it. And I also started Little Misfortune. Now, that's another gem I'll talk about later. Days 10, 11, and 12 were all rest days. I was mostly playing with friends. Maybe like some Apex Legends in there, and Warzone, and Rogue Company, I think. I did manage to finish Little Misfortune, which is great. I highly recommend it. It's a point-and-click adventure with a great story, fantastic art style. Got some great voice acting, got some great jokes, but it's like sort of dark humor, but not the darkest, but it's pretty good. I started 5 Dates, which is another FMV game where you play as a dude trying to get a date. It's super cheesy, and I'll play something right now to show you what it's all about.
Open to work.
Oh, you're joking. No, I don't.
You do.
Oh my gosh. On this video call right now.
Right now.
Oh god, you're cruel. Okay, give me some background music to dance to then. Come on.
Okay, alright.
I'm not gonna do it just empty.
Alright, it's coming. There.
Okay, this is good. Get your dollar bills out, yeah? Get ready to...
Yeah, I know. I get it right here, baby.
Get it.
Wow.
Oh, that's it. And it goes up like...
Oh my god.
Look it back.
That's amazing. That's the sexiest thing I've ever seen a guy do in my life.
Alright, so this is the next day, day 13. Finished up 5 dates. Played a terrible easy game, Rift Raccoon, that came out that day or the day before. The surprise update for Signal came out. It was another 1K update. So it was free for me. I did not know about this beforehand, so it was free. So I was excited for that. It just came out of nowhere and helped me out. Then I started up another FMV game, The Bunker. I'll talk about more of that in days 14 and 15. Okay, so this is where the start of the Zithian games come in again. Now, I know they were going to be released in May, sometime in May, for the Windows 10 stacks. And these were always in my back pocket. So I was like, I had a bunch of other games planned, but these were always in the back pocket, just saying like, these are like the get out of jail free card. So I bit the bullet and just did them. But I would have been a fool not to use them for this challenge right here. But I wish I would have gotten Smart Moves, because I'm kicking myself about this. Because in Smart Moves, they had a level skip button where you can just hit the button to level skip. But now you have to play through all the levels again because they took that out for some reason. So I'm just kicking myself. I haven't even gone and done that yet. I think it's 1750 I have in that out of 2000. But other games I played was Castle No Escape 1 and 2, 50 Years, Bullet Beat, Butterfly 1 and 2, Reactor X, and Smart Moves. Now, Bullet Beat is the best one out of here. Then second is 50 Years. So, it's just annoying playing those. I also played 2 terrible games in Fester. This came out that day too. It's just a bad platformer. Now, Air Jump Bounce Challenge or whatever. This is terrible. Controls suck so much. Very, very rage-inducing because you think you can have control over the character and the jumping, but you can't. It's just ridiculous. I'm glad I finished it, but it's just so terrible. I also started Dragon Quest Builders 2 and Scarlet Mysteries Cursed Child. Next up is Day 16, and it's Cruz Brothers, more like Spam A Brothers. It's a cheap fighting game where you just spam A or B for like 5 or 6 hours to get 2,000 Gamerscore, which is great. And the price was permanently dropped from like $30 to $5, so great. And they added like an update, I think. That's why they have more Gamerscore in it. And I finished up Scarlet Mysteries Cursed Child. Now those games are like the point and click hidden object games. Now, with those, I'm fine with, but I hate the ones that you have to play through twice. Hey, thankfully, the Cursed Child one you did not. The story was okay, but I hope the developer doesn't keep doing the achievements where you have to play through the game twice. But I don't know. It's easy to follow, guide. Last game for Day 16 was Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary Edition World Tour, which is super easy because you can just use the cheats. You don't have to play through all the levels. Alright, Day 17 was I got a pair of those Outbreak games done here, Epidemic and Lost Hope, but those were the definitive editions for Series X and S. So there's another 2K I can get if I use the Xbox One versions, but I'm not buying those yet. Those are just going to be like the back pocket vault games. Hopefully they don't pull them off of the store, but I don't think they would do, because I know those games are only made by one guy, so they're all janky. But it's a one-person dev team, so it's great for that, I guess. And I played some more Dragon Quest Builders 2. Day 18 was more 2 easy games. Golf Zero was a game where it's like a platformer, but a golf. You gotta like jump and hit the golf ball into the spot where it needs to go, and you can like slow down time. It was pretty good, pretty frustrating sometimes, but easy 1,000. You don't have to get like gold medals except one time, which is pretty easy. And then another game I played was BFF or Die. Now this is like one of the most worthless games I've played for the 1,000 Gamerscore. It's like no challenge for the getting the collectibles. Maybe it's better when you have more people, but ridiculous. So on to Day 19, which is 0 Degrees, which is another bad platformer that came out in May. You just gotta snow, create ice blocks and all that. And I started up a game I actually wanted to play, was Moons of Madness, which is pretty good. Day 20 was more Zythian games. They updated the butterfly games. They updated one of the butterfly games to get another 1,000 or something like that. I played Ribisco Plus, was another terrible game. Played some more Moons of Madness. Did the Smart Moves update, so got like 1,000 in that. Started up Glittering Sword, and I don't know, got some game score in that. Day 21, I finished up Glittering Sword. I started Twin Mirror, and I got 1,000 gamer score in Kingdom of Arcadia, which is an okay platformer Metroidvania. Well, not Metroidvania because it's level based. I would just say don't get it, I guess. It's a side-scrolling platformer. 3 hits, you're dead, and all that jazz. Day 22 was Guard Duty, which is a point-and-click adventure. Now, when I saw the picture of the game, it's like, oh man, it's probably going to be like a tower defense thing. But it wasn't. It was like a point-and-click adventure game. Next was Super Soccer. I did this while I was watching something on YouTube, I'm imagining, because you can just pick all the teams and just simulate, and you can just go to the achievements. Then once you finish all the simulating stuff, you just got to get goals. Then I started Through the Woods, which was another game I wanted to play. And then I started and finished We Should Talk, which is an interesting game, a visual novel, just clicking choices. Now, pretty good. I followed a guide for this because I didn't really want to play it. Day 23 was a lot of games. It was Castle Pals, which is terrible. Cattch, which is terrible. Cattch is you can use the cheat codes, but every time you hit the Xbox button, like to bring up your dashboard, the game crashes or whatever. It's like soft lock, so you gotta come in, and then once you do that, it like erases your save. So you just gotta do it all in one sitting. Don't do anything else. Just keep doing the cheats and whatever. And then sometimes the achievements don't even pop, so you gotta actually close out the game and lose your progress. So it's just annoying. Gut Whale came out, and I bought that on a whim because I saw it was easy, but it's not easy. But once you get used to it, it's really rewarding once you finish it, because it's pretty interesting. It's only 3 levels, but it's very hard. Precise. It's a precise platformer where you only get 1 bullet to shoot an enemy, but once you shoot the enemy, or once you shoot in general, your bullet comes out and you can collect that bullet again. So if you can get combo to get money to get upgrades, but the upgrades only count for like 1 or 2 things. So it was pretty hard. If you're gonna get Gut Whale, make sure you take your time and learn the game, and then learn the patterns of the enemies, because that's what you're gonna need to do. I did Hard Cube. That's like a puzzle game, like Metroid Blast Ultra, I think. I can't remember. I did Milo's Quest. That's a terrible game. Started Knockout City. Or I didn't start it, but played some more of it, I think. Mayo, that Mr. Masagi Mayo game. Just tap A, and then that's a dating simulator for like a massage thing, and you just vibrate your controller. Started a math game in Norman's Great Illusion. Now you gotta remember PEMDAS, because division, parentheses, addition, subtraction, all that jazz. Pretty hard. And I did another Outbreak game. I'm blanking on it right now. I think, it's the Nightmare Chronicles, the Series X version. That one took a while because it's all about grinding out puzzles solved, but you can just have a save and do the same door over and over again, because that counts as a puzzle. I did that back on the Xbox One version a while ago, but this was the definitive edition. Now, next game today was Tekotan, and I think before it was called Octonaut, but they had to switch the name because it's the same thing. It's like a shoot 'em up, but not that great. Day 24 coming out at the end. I did some more Knockout City, like got 1 or 2 more achievements. Reflection of Me is very annoying because like the timing is off, and you just like gotta remember the button combinations. Some of these games I'm like, oh, why do I buy this? Why am I an achievement hunter? Because right now it's like a slippery. We're going down that slippery slope I talked about in more of my other videos. I'll put it like in the description or in a card somewhere. So then I played some more Twin Mirror. I'll have a lot more to say on Twin Mirror. I'm going to break it out into another video because I got a lot to say. Day 25 was the Bullet Beat update. So that's another 1,000. I started Grizzland. I finished Grizzland. And I started IAI just to get that out of my hair. I had that for a while, I think. It's another shoot 'em up. You got to really grind for all that money to get all the upgrades. But there's a spot where you can just die a lot and just get a bunch of money. I did Rainswept and Random Heroes, 2 games, just another 2 games, 2,000 Gamerscore. I started up Maneater. I'm gonna go back to that today. I still haven't gone back to it since I played this on May 26th. I did also more IAI, the Castle of No Escape update, Liquid Sunshine, to the puzzle platformer, and I did a terrible FPS horror game called Evil Existence. I think it's also by one guy, but it's just terrible. It's like an asset flip Steam indie game that you would see on YouTube or like YouTube Let's Plays. I'm sorry, the last day 26th, I did not finish Liquid Sunshine, but I think it was today, May 27th, I finished it. And I also did Alteric, which I'm so mad at I bought. I won't be able to ever finish it. Terrible controlling puzzle platformer. Well, it's not really puzzle platformer, but terrible controls. You're slip and slide. You're playing like an ice cube. You're slipping and slide all over the place. Would not recommend that one. I also finished up Solo Island of the Hearts. Now this one's a cute one. It's all about relationships, and you can have it like a breakup or maybe you fell in love. So it's pretty good with that, and it's like ask you a bunch of questions. You save some stuff, solve some puzzles. Day 28 was Twin Robots, More Alteric, and Vangerie. Vangerie is like this obscure point-and-click adventure, but what's great about this is you can use all the hints. You can skip all the puzzles that you need to do. You just gotta wait for the timer to go. So it's great for that. And I did some more Alteric. Twin Robots was Alteric. Is like listening to today is when I quit the Alteric. Twin Robots is fine. It's like a simplistic puzzle platformer. Day 29 was Fearful Symmetry, which is another puzzle platform. You can just use the guide on TA to just put in inputs and just follow along. It's another one with the timing is off. And then Iku Miku, terrible game, don't play it. And then Mountain Blade Warband Windows 10 version. So this is another one where you can do console commands. Now for this one I don't feel bad because of I also played that on the Xbox for like a couple hours. I got like half of the achievements, but Xbox has like the dead multiplayer, but you can easily boost it, but I just never had anybody to do with it. Alright, so day 30 was Memoranda, Ord, Rain on Your Parade, and more Vangerie. I finished it. Or, no, that's... After Mountain Blade, I did Memoranda. That's a great game. I really enjoyed that one. Ord, which is another game I really enjoyed. I thought I wasn't going to do that, but I really enjoyed it. It's like a visual novel. It's more like it's a visual novel, but it's more like a choose your own adventure. But really enjoyable. Got a lot of achievements in it, so recommend it all the way. Then Rain on Your Parade, that's a Game Pass game. I wish I would have done it earlier because of that glitch that you can skip the harder stuff, but I did it legit. So the last 2 days were Twin Mirror, Knockout City, Builders, Dragon Quest Builders 2, and IAI. On the last day, the 31st, I finished IAI. Now once I crossed the 100,000 gamer score, I stopped. I was like, okay, I've got my goal, and I'm done. And then as I'm doing this, I'm recording this in July. I'm finishing up this commentary in July, so in June I was like, I'm not playing pretty much anything. So the grand total stats for May 2021 in my Gamerscore, how much Gamerscore you can get, was 93 games started, 96 games played, 90 games completed, 1,818 achievements unlocked, and 100,180 gamer score. So that's what I did for the month of May. Now I know a lot of people have already beaten this. I think I said this earlier. One guy got over 500,000, 500,000 in 1 month, which is easily doable now. Even as I'm recording this now, it's even easier now. So this is what I did. I wish I would have done more, I guess, but I completed 90 games in 1 month, which is crazy. Even though they're junky games, but I did it, and I'm pretty sure I won't do this again. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just save up a bunch of easy games again. Try to beat this record. I'm trying to shift into more walkthroughs for games that need it, or not a lot of coverage, which is kind of shooting myself in the foot because of nobody's going to search for those. But I just want to do that because I want to give back to the community. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, or what I'll do of something.